Alright, because I forgot I was recording, let's go over what I bought. Bought the Judgment, bought that, because, yeah, I'm a cheater cheats. Not by upgrading the engine. Bought a torpedo component just to see if it goes in the cargo, curiosities. So it takes up hold or not. Anyway, let me speak to, her, which, remember me. I may never return home. Someone should know who I was. Alright, first wheel. Priest again. What is the, father's bones? Your father was lost at sea. You never knew him, but you've often dreamed of him. Find and return his remains to London for a decent burial. Full fathom 5. Find where he fell and bring him home. What am I called? Madame. Madame it is. More Z captains choose this than you might expect. Now then. Forgot to grab the, name generator, C4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And, fantasy name gen. Hold on, just now. Yeah, just Munder. Sure. Munder. Your father lost at sea so very long ago. The trail was cold, but now you have a lead. The bishop at St. Fica? This cadaverous and sinister prelate interviewed you in person just before you were cast out of the priesthood. He seemed surprisingly sympathetic. After what happened with your father, he said, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. What did he mean? A candlelit room. The bishop's face is stern and shadowed. I do not condone what you have done, he says, but many of us have, what shall I say, eccentric appetites. Yes, I will assist you, but you must help me satisfy one of my own cravings. Dark drop coffee is difficult to find in London. Bring me let us say 2 sacks of beans. Bring me this, and I shall share with you what I know. Submarine turtle, get down here. I understand, I know where it is. Your lodgings. Read the morning papers, an Expression Gazette, the magazine formerly known as the London Magazine, the spiteful trumpeter news. The Conrad is threatening war. They always are. London's colonies on the Caroline coast want independence. They always do. Undersea, the paper's report, has undergone another alteration. Not yet, it hasn't. You can tell. Oh, a promotional coupon for Miss Pliny's provisions for a half casket of salt herring. You could use that. Purchase an elegant townhouse, a good address on Hollow Street. It won't be cheap. It's 1,000 echoes, and I'm a cheater who cheats. Sailor service. You have your crew cart your things from the Blind Hillsman to your new address. If anyone respectable calls, they'll pass as servants. Purchase a Z side mansion, something up by the prick finger wastes but not too near the carnival. Something with a view. Grand estate, the mansion has fallen on sad times, but your crew get it ship shape, painting walls, polishing floors, rousting out the occasional nest of ice-stealing sorrow spiders. That was 10,000. Okay, a private sanctuary. Want your lodgings on one? Yeah. Create a shrine of stone. You know the hymns, the prayers, the traditions. Perhaps you believe it, perhaps you don't, but it'll comfort the sailors. The process of creating the shrine into stone will increase your hearts by 7, as high as 200, and the shrine is an auxiliary item worth a further 7. Create an anatomical cabinet. You have learned so much, now create an object lesson that will guide you in the destruction of your enemies. Create a serene aquarium. You know the secrets of this peculiar specimen? Construct an environment that will display it to best advantage. Interesting. Create a monstrous almanac. You could fill whole shelves of notebooks with what you've learned of the sea, its monsters, its treasures, its secrets, and you will. Create a whispering trophy case. Yes, when the bones are in place, you will hear them when you sleep. Write a well. The court of Chansey, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom it may devour. Ensure it doesn't get its lion tentacles on your property when you're gone. The court of Baseborn and falling piece. The lawyer appears at you like a vulture composed of crocodiles. Come now, she creaks. There's a few years in you yet, but your caution does you credit. Sign here. No, ink is fine. This isn't the brass embassy. Adorn your lodgings with captivating treasures. Convert captivating treasures into heirlooms, and they'll adorn your lodgings until the day you die. After that, your family will probably sell them. Okay, so 10 echoes and a captivating treasure. Convert a collection of outlandish artifacts into an heirloom. Individually, these artifacts are interesting. Together, they're unique. 10, 20, no more the 16, no more, yeah, okay. Write the Song of the Sea. You have assembled a store of lore and a collection of antiques. Your knowledge of the sea rivals that of any captain of history. Write it all down. Okay, so just a bunch of ports visited. 40 secrets. 77 tales of chair. 77 sea stories. Distant shores. No Sunless Sea, Spring Trophy Cabinet, Monster Almanac. So the 5 associated ones. Okay. Long-term goal achieved. Was it just... No. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, story. Which, since this says I can do it without looking... Oh no. Provide a rare creature of the labyrinth. Are those young science serpents? Marvelous. We'll pay you handsomely, of course we will. Purchase a live specimen. Nope. Mother's bones, dark bean coffee, so, okay, 9 fuel to 6 supply. And I'm gonna go 25 fuel and the rest. Okay, one second of that. Do I have? Yes. Okay. Because I need 2 of those. The bishop wants dark drop coffee from the elder continent. If you have it, he will see you now. Eccentric appetites. Do you know of the place called Avid Horizon? The bishop asks. It is a place of many natures. One nature is this. It is a place of confession. One tormented by his conscience may mark his name on the piers of the dock there, seeking absolution, or at least punishment. Your father's name is there, and his crime. Find it, and you will find his resting place. He sips from a tiny cup of freshly brewed coffee. This is really very good. So I'll give you 2 final pieces of advice. Firstly, beware Mount Nomad. And secondly, the Fathom King has been given authority over all things lost at sea. If you need more assistance, ask him. The bishop smiles at you over his coffee cup. The bishop smiles at you over his coffee cup. He'll ask a little more from you than I have. London. Dr. Blimming Galvanator. Blimming sits atop a splintered crate, clicking and whistling at captains as they come near. A polite bow. You extend your hand and the Blimming leaps on. Its tendrils entwine with your fingers and chitters quietly. It meets your gaze and bobs its dome in greeting. It's very small. Is it old enough for naval service? Pretty sure its mustache has been drawn on in a pen in an attempt to look older. As you approach your ship's gangplank, the creature flutes and vibrates with apparent happiness. The bosun winces as you bring it aboard. Okay, more in London. To do university, yeah, we'll stack, whatever. Hire on more crew, sure. Rich pickings, your trail finds a ready audience. Scarred and seasoned men and women tramp aboard and find places to sling hammocks. Put your ship in dry dock, whatever. Offer passage to a tomb colonist and an immigrant will pay to be taken to north to Vertebrate. You recruit, can't have that yet. So, Admiralty Service Office, I'll pay information from Z captains, find out what and how. Ask if there's anything particular they need. Well, if we can be assured of your discretion. The sports speak to our agent there and return. We'll see you rewarded. Strategic information from Guiders Morn in the Corsairs Forest, somewhere not far from home waters. Oh, quaint. Yeah. Can't do that yet. Tomb Colonist. Okay. Shop 2010. Passenger. Someone in the docks wants to board your ship. Agree to carry the gnomic Gaviant to the Cumin, whatever. Listen, man, there's 3 vowels in a row there. Me? Whatever. Canal or the Iron and Misery funking station, or both. History is a horse. Who will prick it with their spurs? He cries to no one in particular. A drop of blood may be as precious as a ruby. He puffs out his chest, ruby studs gleam in the lamplight. I know London. I knew London had enterprising souls still left in it. I am seeking truth, madame, which I am told I may find in the Iron Misery Funking Station and the Cumin Canal. Ideally, I would both, but I could settle for one. For at Port Cecil, there will be a contest, and we will change the world with a game of chess. A king will fall. London. Terran colonist, I guess? Yeah, an immigrant will be taken north to London Light. It's awfully difficult to die and fall in London, but when a Londoner is too tatty and wretched to live, they wrap themselves in bandages and take ship for the tomb colonies. The crew cart these ones aboard in padded coffins. They'll sleep there until the journey's done. Yeah, no reason to go there. Story hold 37. Journal. Mascot, swap that out. 3. Shops. Okay. Oh, I can put an auxiliary slot, so... And I don't think there's one here. Yeah, bridge. Well, no, that's aft. Engines, weapon, aft. Sure. Hold on, do these not... Ah, these take them. See, this is one of the things. Oh. Goes in the auxiliary slot, huh? That is definitely peculiar to me. Where is it? Hold on, can I... Do these... No, they do not stack. Not worth it then. Okay. Mushroom wine, I'll grab 2 just because. I have a memory of that being a important thing. Okay. Hold on, let me, options, audio settings. Okay. I have become greed. just to get started on the blue lightning crawls leisurely up the funnel. Saint Ezra's dancing, the cry goes up. But an island somewhere in the southwest. You know the worst part about it is, that's literally one of the few times that the eat it. Amazing. Dissected for knowledge. It's not dead. You haul it aboard and set to work with their knives and assets, and it flops unexpectedly into life. Sailors rush to your aid with guns and boarding plates. By the time they've finished, you're unharmed. But there's not much left of the beast. You tip it reluctantly into the sea. All clear. I honestly was expecting to scrape the rocks there, but seemed to have just slipped on by. Okay, Quakers hat and fires on the hillside. Once this simple fishing village was part of London's suburbs. Before London fell and the waters rushed in, smoke spirals from cottage chimneys, a lonely hill rises behind the town. Have I really got one terror already? Oh well, I at least can manage it better that way with the thing. Pick up a wretched mog. Meow, meow. A yellow-eyed, mangy, piebald thing winds around your ankles like a manacle chain. You've never seen a cat's mouth open that wide. Presumably it's hungry. What's that smell? It jumps down from your arms and disappears in the darkness of the ship. An hour later, 5 brutally executed rats are found on the foredeck. Chat to the fishermen. They sail Z around the island. They mend their nets by the harbor. They see all that happens here, but you'll need a coin to open their mouths. Little ships and little secrets. Pirates playing the waves. Pardon me. Smugglers at their work. Kannats, ships putting in resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. Visit the hilltop above the town. There's not much wind on the undersea, but Mutton Island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicable local fragment of weather, and the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. Peace. You stand on the cliff top, looking over the island's village. Smoke from the chimney of the cook and magpie drifts straight upwards. There's not a breeze to ruffle your hair, nor to lift your collar. Below you, a young woman carries what could be real flowers, handing them out with a courtesy to everyone she meets. I'll go back up to the Rosy Merchant is well stocked with crates of mushroom and dried fish. It's best you can do here. Go back up to 10 and whatever. Yeah, this absolutely ruins the economy. Was underestimating how much it will do, but honestly I don't care. Alright, let me check the log. Iron +2. Okay, speak to. Grease veils with secret. What does she want? My ears will hatch soon. The gum lighter wasp. You know it? Its children are in me. She smiles. I can't be sorry. I can see such things. She trails off, hungrily watching your face. What is she seeing? King Ear's castle, she says at last, rather breathily. Her hands go up to her throat. I would like to see King Ear's castle through these eyes before I go. Right, speak. Right, need the dinner. Alice. Yeah. I need a ton of secrets. Murray Straits discovered. Listen for surface gossip. The ships of the surface linger here. This is their lifeline to a warmer place. A sorry end. A card game ends badly when one surface sailor knifes another for all the usual reasons. Other players scrabble for the coin that spills from her pockets, but you snatch up a scrap of paper they overlook. Curious markings, dates, times, code names, spy work. Assist the gnomic gallant in an enterprising and dubious legality. A riddle. There are 10 individuals in a room, one of whom is an ancient tyrant. How can you distinguish him? Answer. Burglarize a private library for a picture of him beforehand. Knowing the enemy. As dinner bells sound throughout the port. You carry a ladder to one of the long-moored, half-legal ship's hostels. You prop the ladder to the porthole of what the galleon assures you is the cabin of a French diplomat. He ascends swiftly, leaving you to carry the ladder away. Half an hour later, the gallant is back on your deck. He polishes his ruby cuffs. I've seen the face of eternity printed in ink. It was a terrible face. Okay, where was that jellyfish? Excuse me. Oh, it's a takey boy, ain't it? I'll disperse. A face from above the jellyfish. Flora's cap does look a little like a woman's face. She devolves like smeared paint. Sizzling vapors rise from the sea. Time slips sideways. A coil of rope has strung a stroker and his fellows beat it to death. We are under the hand of thy republic. Okay, seriously? Unfinished? House client state, be wary. Their laws are not the laws of matter nature. Factory engines roar like false lions. Blood thunders in dock pipes. Crimson lightning skitters across the deck. Leaps to the rail, curls there like a cat. The city is reflected in glassy, calm harbor water. The citizens here have the heads of dogs and serpents. Hell has brought freedom to the Iron Republic. Freedom from all laws, even those of nature. Engage an officer, the irresponsible cannoneer. Madame, are you looking for a gunner? I'm looking for a ship. Here are my friends. I have no idea how long I paused there, but whatever. Now you're awash with nostalgia for the hatching of the egg. Write it down, write it all down. Perhaps you'll be rid of it. Market of Hunger is the Parliament of Flies. The Market of Hunger with its spirals and sigils is a parody of the bazaar. Day flies fill at arcades, buzz buzz. Okay. The Merc folds. Okay, yeah. Listen, meta knowledge tells me I need that, so yay. Merc folds. Shops. Same, okay. Yeah, okay. Officers, gunners, iron. It's +8. Pull, journal, 20 to 28, okay. 20 to 20. Okay. Is this an efficient use of time or effort? No. But blood demands it. So, yeah. I'm just gonna speed ahead. Came on deck to find metal sharp with sparks. Ozone coronals haunt the ship. This is Dawn's Edge. Okay, like seriously, it definitely feels like I'm too far zoomed in. I'm getting like, that's like below the bottom of the screen even. Well, I'm out rats. Out rats. My roads, watchful Z-bats perch on the ship's railing. Their eyes swivel in unison as you cross the deck. The sun, the sun, the sun. Alright, I haven't spoken to him, have I? Invite the cannoneer to dine with you. I've had enough to eat, thank you. I don't eat much, but I'd like to demonstrate some areas I've had. Can you meet me on the after deck at 8 bell? Prize 5. Torpedo components. You have 1. A tooth cracking treasure. A chunk of grit baked in your ship's biscuit. You crack a tooth and curse your crew chuckles, but when the object turns out to be a diamond, small and badly flawed, but a diamond nonetheless, they all hush. Diamonds are sacred stone, one says. Give it to the Z, Captain. It will be luck for us. Hang on to it. You're not going to throw a diamond in the Z to appease some nameless god of sailor superstition. Do the careful thing. Sailors pray to stone when they want home, hearth, and healing. She's the kind of god you want on your side. A flash in the darkness. The diamond glints once as it reaches the apex of an arc. Down, down, a wound wave reaches up to take it. Oh, you would notice me. When my crew die, I don't know when one of my crew died. Grand Geode, a distant song like a mirage. A naval base with the Royal Navy's emblem, curiously amended, efficiently Efficient, bright-eyed women and men work briskly everywhere you look. They are singing hymns with unfamiliar words. Hard-faced Royal Marines watch you carefully, barring entry to the geode's heart. A plaque by the dock has been defaced with orange paint, but you can still make out the original inscription, Station 5, adjacent. Speak to someone in authority. Compile a report. Does the Admiralty know, or want to know? Take discreet notes, the Marines are watching. Ask to speak with someone in authority. What is this place? The Commodore may be able to give you a few minutes. The Commodore shakes your hand warmly. He's a handsome, open-faced fellow in an immaculate Navy uniform. His office is equally handsome. It overlooks the glittering interior crystal cliffs. It must be as well lit as any study underneath. He deflects questions about the purpose of the installation, classified you know, but smilingly offers you tea, biscuits, and mineralogy antidotes. The biscuits are good, but the antidotes are rather blend one into the next. You find yourself nodding and then jerking, suddenly awake. The Commodore is smiling, you feel your cup. Your cup is empty. You feel well, very well. A little euphoric even. Come back soon, he says softly. Engage an officer, The carnaline exile. A dark-spectacled woman marches up to you in some haste. Madame, take me with you. I am no longer welcome here, and I will show you where we need to go. Welcome aboard. Here I am. A ship, I suppose, is both always here and never there, because there becomes here. Yeah, nothing else there. No shops, so, right, officers. First officer, mirrors and pages. Excellent. Why isn't that, like, hold capacity, like, here? It's a peculiar thing. Okay. Questions that shall never be answered. For this game's fog of war is very peculiar in its actions. Alright, I should speak to invite her to dine with you, needed Syria. You might want to ask her to dine with you. Increase your mirrors. I'm at 40 mirrors. Ask her, yes. At last, Salt Song. Okay, let me speak to her. Yeah. Fails. Pretty sure I got 4 secrets, I'm spending them. She'll tell you her secrets if you tell her yours. She's serious when she gets talking. There's hard hedges under the bluff and banter. Well, I definitely do need that, but 71 veils, huh? And there it is. The place I'm heading to, the Sapphire Mine. The Bella Town. Caroline coast far to the south, beneath roof glimmers above the mountain of light. Okay, I honestly feel like I've got twice the amount of food I needed compared to fuel again. Okay, honestly, I probably should be increasing my iron. Port Carnoline. Is this the specialist collector? Not yet. I need terror, so now. Call a room above. Call a room above a bookshop. The diplomats account were expelled from Port Carnoline following the Galati incident. Only one remains behind, not in any official capacity, you understand. Off the record, no, I'm retired now, he tells you cheerfully. His crocky is white as the moon, and rimmed with gold. Over tea, he comments, sympathetically on the governor's difficulties. I feel for the man, I do, really do, and ask probing questions regarding your travels. You manage to squeeze in a few of your own. Oh, the Khan's very fond of sapphires. Blue is his favorite color. Well, that doesn't take up a inventory slot, huh? Mountain shard. Okay, I'm saying shard because it's S-H-E-R-D, not S-H-A-R-D. Shard. This is struck from the side of the mountain of light. Who is the god called stone? It is holy, treat it accordingly. If you don't treat it as holy, it can still be sold as a captivating treasure. Oh, I can buy more than one, huh? Hold. Use. It's pretty, but not especially practical. What do you intend to do for it? Treat it as a captivating treasure? If you plan to sell it, stop treating it with reverence. A captivating treasure is worth 1,000 echoes. But once you've decided that your mountain shard is only a treasure, you cannot convert it back. Perhaps not. Submarine, the fierce philanthropist. Her house is built in the tall, portiated London-style red brick and white plaster. Decorative iron railings painted black. Its mistress is the subject of intense colonial gossip. Independently wealthy, an industrialist's daughter, a widow, unwelcome in London. What then does she want with you? An invitation arrives as soon as you docked. A scepter invitation. It wouldn't hurt to have the backing of a wealthy benefactor. This will begin the questioning, which will allow you to obtain a submarine. You expected a sizable gathering, but it's just you, her, and a decanter of Admiral Sherry. Pardon me? She's not a small woman, and comprehensively occupies her armchair. She wears sensible satins and sensible shoes. Her hair is impeccably curled. I've heard a number of shocking things about you, madame, all of which I consider thoroughly promising. Her accent has a hint of Midlands melancholy to it. She must have spent much of her life on the surface. For a time she asks questions about your travels, and listens avidly to your answers. Then she gets down to business. A question, ma'am. A question, madame. She tops up her sherry. Some years ago, the nations of the East stuck in an agreement to abandon their research into submarine travel and leave the Z-depths untouched. The agreement about nothing of consequence. Sailors mutter about it when listening to Admiralty's follies, and you nod. She raises her glass to her lips. And what is your opinion of this agreement? Scoff about it? Approve of it? Scoff about it? It's a nonsense. Nowhere should be forbidden to the capable explorer. A new friend. Her smell is conspiratorial. Then we can help each other. I am prepared to finance in large part improvements to a ship that will make it capable of submarine travel. The Admiralty and other powers disapprove of such innovation. Therefore, we will need to be discreet. I have produced experts, laborers, and a workshop. They are well paid and loyal. Here is the address. Meet us there and we can begin our work. On the shore of a gloomy inlet stands a rickety factory. Once and supposedly still, it was committed to cutting and polishing sapphires. Now it is the place where the fierce philanthropist houses her intrepid staff of engineers, the ingenious men and women who will convert your ship into a submarine. Phase 1. Contribute. Nautical know-how, additional funding, a mysterious device, Stygian ivory, advanced theory, zonars. Phase 2. Retrieve the zonar schematics. Well, I got the money, so... Midnight agents behind the Blue Bazaar by night, a gang of coveted criminals assemble. For a sum of echoes, they will appropriate a crate of necessary materials for you. They ask no questions, and the crate is delivered to the workshop by morning. Additional funding. Greasing the wheel, you make a deposit into a blandly named account. As certain port officials turns a blind eye to the incoming cargo of vital but dangerous supplies. Same as last time. And same as last time. Retrieve a set of zonar schematics. The engineers have reached an impasse. It's the zonar. It's unreliable, loud, and stops working below 70 fathoms. But the Admiralty and the Khanate must have cracked this back in the day. The engineers brim with conspiracy theories about the old submarine programs. Before their agreement about nothing of consequence. London's Admiralty conducted their submarines research at Station 3. The location of Khanate's research base is unknown, but a number of its scientists relocated to Khan Shadow. Perhaps one of these locations has information you can use. Oh. Hello there. Yeah. That's, you get that for completing the character's quest. Not her. The, mulberry hair, or whatever. Yeah, not her, she has a top hat. Mist of the Sea of Autumn. Ah, you're easy to kill. Lieutenant Scuttlebird, she's a vile vessel in these seas, unsafe. Take what you can and move on. 1 supplies, 1 fuel. Scout crate. Alright, what do I get rid of? 4 supplies, now 10. Close the gazette. Oh. Oh dear. That is very much a interesting thing. Sure, no islands in range. Absolutely accurate, Matt. It's like, why do I make use of you? Mangrove College, the wise and wicked sanctuary here where the fruits are plenty in the woods wild. Steaming sprawl of parsnic vegetation and a village, barely a village. Old walls, roofs in despair, stilts leaning dangerously. It looks to have been assembled by drunks in a hurry. Dock carefully. Compile port report. Sages, scholars, and philosophers, naturalists, poets, and dreamers, here to pursue their rarefied ideals in a land of money fecundity, whatever. All shall be well. The thinkers of the Mangrove College continue their untroubled and sedentary existence. New schools of philosophy are born and die like bubbles. Extraordinary poetries are written in water. The occasionally retired pirate tries and fails to get invited to salons. Okay. Into the wispy ways. The swamps around the village are full of mud, crocodiles, and vegetable treasures, including the notorious parasite called soulless fruit. The frogs in spreading branches occlude all light. Raise your lantern's eye. You can leave at any time, but if you get far enough, you'll generally find something interesting. Oh, okay. Interesting, very interesting. Never done this before because I never got the, you know, things. You know, the candles. Narrow waterways and craggy paths. Marshlight and mud. Now and then parasitic moss like shaggy curtains. Now and then a questing tentacle. Each event will take you further into the swamp. Go deeper enough and you'll find something interesting. Three skeletons on a hammock. They sprawl companionably around a long dead fire, as if they simply couldn't be bothered to get up. Skidding around, nothing remains of their clothes or possessions. They've been long robbed of their purses as well as their flesh. Each carries only a sardonic grin and the robe of creepers. Darkness between the trees. Come closer, the wind says in the branches. Here is peace. In the dappled gray and black, nothing threatens you. A calamity advance. Shining bodies burst from pitcher plants around you. A thick mat of ants swarms in ambush. Flee. Alright, I'm just gonna leave. The roof of the college. Hours later, you squelch out into relative safety. You need a bath? How you need a bath? Thank God that a steamer is never short of hot water. Okay, that's definitely interesting. Gonna need like, what, 50 of those? Gather supplies. Now, eat, drink, and be merry. The philosophers of the college are not hospitable, but the whole shoreline is busting with fruit and edible fungus. Reach up and if it falls into your hand, pick it up and it's already fermented. An explosion of taste. Tart morsels and more tart. The salty tang of weed stew. A crawling berry that the locals assure you is a motile plant, then an insect. Eat your fill and drink contemptuously. I'll leave it and continue on my way. Ah, there it is. The, label of the map. Absolutely inconsistent, this discovery of the places and such. Oh. Excellent, moon scuttle. Times cash wins. Spider silk, excellent. You're like, seriously? What is the, I don't care, whatever. Alright. It is morn. Morn is the stalagmite vast as the crag. at Foot Harbor has no safe harbors. The Corsair's citadel nestles halfway up. An intricate system of winches takes the strain, and your ship rises slowly from the sea. Her hull creaks in protest. Grizzled sailors groan and cling to stanchions. Higher, higher now, the undersea shimmers like glass below. Children clambering in crevices cheer and wave alarmingly. The winch motor slows, and you hang in a cradle next to a red-bowed pirate cutter. Pay the loitering dock for strategic information. Admiralty sent you. Price has gone up. It's not safe here. You'll pay the difference, won't you? You're a generous soul. You'll have your reward the other side of the river. One day. And here's a little reward for now. Good sailing to thee. The report is barely legible. Perhaps that's part of the code. Their Admiralty will know. Over here, rumors of a pirate poet. Land lumbers fear pirate, pirates fear the poet. Lies, nonsense, glimmers. Some say she's a man of clay who freed herself with the power of verse. Possible? Others insist she's the personal muse of the king with 100 hearts. Unlikely. One claims she sails on a living ship made of the still screaming skulls of her victims. More somber voices mutter that no, it's actually just an Alcaeus class vessel. Whatever the truth, few have fought her and survived to tell the tale. Only the bravest of captains risk the lonely parts of the sea where a flag is set to fly. Gather intelligence. I have to speak to you, right? Yes. Okay. Guys, swarms with pirates, smugglers, and captains of uncertain allegiances. You can learn a lot here, but you need to go carefully. A dislike of spies. One of your more villainous-looking sailors joined a dice game. Villainous-looking, but you know for a fact that she teeths to charity and has a delightful singing voice. The topic turns promising to pillage and ambush, but your sailor is a little too forward with her questions. There's a scuffle and a stabbing. You escape, she does not. Okay. Moving on. Wow. Immediate secret, huh? Station 3, somewhere to the northeast. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Station 3, we may infer a Station 1 and Station 2. We may conjecture a Station 4. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill, there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low and they burn it where they burn it all. And your ship is the only one Search Shed 12, a long and low building propped against the wall, boarded windows, a rusting padlock. Emotions shatters the lock with a ball-penned hammer. Inside, your lamp reveals dust-choked workbenches stoned with discarded tools, shelves and cardboard boxes filled with rivets and bolts, washers and screws, blackboards roughly scrounged. Here is an old lunchbox. It's a half-eating sandwich encased in successive generations of exciting fungus. In a rusted filing cabinet, you find the document you need, a folder of tea-stained research in Arizona. You leave the rotten workshop quietly and return to your ship. Next time you sneeze, your handkerchief comes away black with the workshop dust that crept into your lungs. Train your telescope on shore. Might be best to get a look from a distance. Church or something else. You stand on the high point of your ship and look to shore. There is a step-old building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks its top, nor any other symbol you recognize. Search for signs of other visitors. It never hurts to know what you are up against. A familiar smell. There is nothing to see along the narrow quarries, but there is a smell, distinct enough to rise above the odors of brine and wood and wet rope. It's the smell of frankincense, burnt recently and in substantial quantities. Okay. I'm gonna head to the right and then south. Try and grab some more port reports and then, like, I don't know. Just try and go through that call. God, this map feels useless. Like, it may as well just be on AutoCast, to be honest. There's something underwater in the distance to the east. Yeah, well, that's a bit preemptive right now. Salt lines in the distance to the north. Oh, that's pretty good. Like, I mean, it could be one over, but it's still pretty solid. Blue lightning crawls leisurely up the funnel. Saint Erasmus dancing, the cry grows up. Honestly, I'm real tempted just to press F and just go zoom. There's a vast sorrow in their empty eyes. Two basalt beasts, cathedral size, they frown internally at each other. Across the black waves, the north one carries an encampment. Creeping human fingers eat away at its features like rot. Picking. There's a supply dock below. Carries Sphinx stone to London. 20 units. Excuse me. The unmakers are here to reduce the salt lines to rubble one block at a time. Help them in their work by carrying the rubble back to London. Compile report. Time, basalt, dissolution. Record the activities of the makers such as they are. Rite of stone and silence. Visit the unmakers. Muscular pit wielders rest on camp stools watching you as you approach. Passing hip flasks around. An unconscious overseer beckons you to sit. Fungal, tissanine, and tea cakes. Get funding from the bazaar. It's true. But Station 4? I wouldn't call it Station 4. It's a little grandiose. The stones are stuffed with weird secrets, but most of them are used as garden statuary, or occult basalt. Most of them. Some go down to the place under the bazaar. More tea cakes? Okay, that's a light over there, but whatever. Hello. Any me I can take? I mean, technically I can take all enemies with that method, but 2 supplies, 2 fuel, scout crate, and 4 supplies. Okay. Sorry I keep flicking to the map, honestly I feel like sometimes like I shouldn't even bother checking the map, but I do. Because that's supposed to make sense, right? Checking the map, seeing if you're on the path to where you want to go. Oh, that was something underwater. We entered the stairs. The glassy chop of dark water, the iron clatters of feet at the hatchway. The dubious maelstrom? Okay. Pigmoat Island? That doesn't sound familiar, so let's see what hell is here. Yeah, there it is. There's the dock. I was worried I was on the wrong side, but apparently not. Oh, that's a ship, or was a ship. Pigmoat Island. 2 houses, both alike in dignity, on a lonely, deserted beach. There is no habitation in sight, no market, only an old, rotting dock. Unlocked when Pigmoat Island of Progress of a Nation is blank. There's no habitation in sight, no market, only an old, rotting dock. Stretch of stand thickens into damp, black earth, from which sprouts stunted palms, not quite tall, fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. Disembark, see what awaits you. War? Or you step on the quarry? The quarry? QUA? QA? Whatever. You hear clamoring, shouts, and shooting. You can see off in the distance smoke rising from beyond the hill. and dots of fire flecking the horizon. Two tiny figures stand a little further down the car, unmoving as if awaiting your approach. Oh, I think I remember this one. The following is an extract from the popular diary of a Z captain. From London to Irene, what we did there before we arrived. Washed ashore on Mutton Island, and the subsequently serialized in the expungent Gazette. The author identity remains unknown. The Tale of Pigmont Island, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, a most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. Chapter 1. The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a radish fabber, wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and a breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the high Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first and bowed. Welcome, Captain, to Rat Star Island. I am Edgar, second chief engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you all to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The rats stepped back at precisely the same moment. With what appeared to be the ease of a long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward and made a declaratory chirp. Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Cavia. I am Lady Augusta de Varax, Swinch of the Blackwater Swinches, Central to our King Krishna, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The two stood at attention, looking at me expectantly. The two remarkable rodents sat squatted, both seeking my support. I knew I had to choose carefully. I spoke to the chief engineer. His eyes had a wave cold glint to them, and he wore his scars like jewels. I spoke to the official. How did an armored guinea pig manage to look regal? I spoke to the chief engineer. A rat in the making. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long measured moment, before looking gruffly. We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London, its cats and snuffers, its rat-skin sweets. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, and our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shines bright and blue on Mount Ararat. Ararat? What? The chief engineer nodded towards the distant hill. One day we braved the depths of Chicken Woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked the rat star to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavi saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist it to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them? I spoke to the Shinshal, a night owl of habit. The Shinshal cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. Rascal, that king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months have sojourned on the sea, conquered this island, and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls to be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak behind mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance, assured shall be our glories at the end their fall, but our lady's eye restored be it to our hall. The Shinshal composed herself in the net. We saw truth and beauty by the light of Our Lady's eye on Mount Cavat, but the rats with their guns and their chatter and their peasant politics stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are rebel and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? I've heard more than enough. I was ready to make my choice. I cited. As you can well imagine, I faced quite a dilemma. Their red eyes stared up at me, waiting for my choice. I sided with the chief engineer. I favored the Shrapnel. I attempted to broker a peace. Surely their commonalities were more numerous than their differences. Perhaps I could help them get along. I favored the Sinish, whatever. The guinea pigs. I favored the guinea pigs. Was it her charm or fondness for London's rat-skin coats that swayed me? Perhaps a little of both. At any rate, I was keen to find out more about their civilization. I sided with the chief engineer. He seemed grumpy but honest. Also, I knew all too well what rat-made weapons can do. I attempt to broker peace. My words helped them reach agreement. The chief engineer and the guinea pig shared a look, then regarded me with scornful music. Yes, the chief engineer. You're obviously much cleverer than us. Oh, much, murmured the Shuts. Clearly you know us much better than we know ourselves. Apparently idealism would not help here. I'm favoring the guinea pigs. Our friend cabbies. I bowed to the Shinish, who purred with pleasure while the chief engineer gashed his teeth, but kept his distance. You have chosen wisely, Captain, said the Shin. Come, and I will explain the situation to you in greater deal. Gain one fuel, one supply, and a night out of habit quality is now you. You can choose the cabbies. I feel this is simply approving my choice. Okay, can I close this? I cannot close this. I am stuck with this. I wanted to end this here, but nope. Gotta go through the whole thing. Pardon me. Let me take a drink of water. Chapter 3, A Night Out of Habit. Listen, I would Google that, but it's a name, so I don't think I would get a pronunciation thing. Led me to the southern side of the island. Skirting the chicken woods, we passed through a number of raised mounds of earth mixed with fortifying stripes of mushroom flesh, which I suppose to be makeshift walls. The settlement was dazzling. This side of the island appeared to be an absolute weathered and scintillac. The cabby's dwellings was awash with silver phosphorescence. It was a large colony. Most noticeably was a steamy pinnace, the impossible lamb that had run aground, from which the cabbies came and went bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, further down the beach, a large group of cabbies lay on bundles of colorful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship was a ramshackle tent of poles and linen, in front of which guinea pigs clashed against each other and sharpened their teeth. In the center of the village was a covered dais, virtually festooned with colorful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. I suspected this was where King Gracenaw kept council. My welcome captain in the kingdom of Cavia, capital of our island, blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye. The Shinshal spoke solemnly, by which I hid a sadness to her words, or so it was, and shall be again. I must speak with our king and prepare your arrival. My page will show you the area and bring you in sight of his splendor in good time. Page, much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with a slender strip of parabola linen, scurried over and bound. The Seneschal took her leave. I visited the hospital. Why were those guinea pigs quarantined? I visited the steam pinnacle on the beach. Was this indeed the impossible lab? Wasn't it reported overrun by rats? I visited the barracks. What chance could guinea pigs stand against the weapon might of Ratius Faber? Whatever. I had seen enough. It was my time for the audience with the king. I visited the hospital. The Black Death. An elderly-looking cavie greeted me, eyeing me gravely. Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. Thou was our salvation. The stronger among us made pilgrimage towards the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, they were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet waters, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, bearing our children and raising them to love Our Lady's eye and see it in our deliverance. The elder looked sorrowfully at the sick under his care. Since the rats stole her, the sickness has returned. All this light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing, the elder's ears and voice flattened in a hiss, that helps our condition is the flesh, the very heart and livers of the rats who stole her from us. Okay, yeah. Steam pinnacle on the beach. A chalky shore. The page chittered while I inspected the vessel. Rats never. The splendor of Cavi overtook this vessel. I was born here, the first native of Cavia, but all our elders remember the voyage. It was harder, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks, and no one spoke of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of Our Lady's eye, guiding us here to our own isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps once we have recovered our eye. Is it not splendid? It certainly may have been at one time, but I could see the hull had been severely damaged by the skill-attacked reef. There was no way the cabbies could ever hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page said, they were stranded here. Visit the barracks. Evening the odds. The page led me to the barracks where the knights stand nigh to speak to one so undercoated, corated as I. The page, however, was eager to answer my questions. The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet? A sword without a blade? Ours are the supplies, the knights, the soft scuffs, and the glory. Pardon me. Their teeth are sharp, it is true, while ours, the page hesitated as the knights glowered at him, are sharper. All the praise to the flowers of the house of Cavi. One knight preened, while another grunted indifference, working a whetstone along its top front teeth. As I watched, a particularly vigorous swipe knocked a whole incenser out of place. It landed on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight grasped the tooth and vanished from sight. Another glared in a way that dared me to make something of it. Okay, time to see the king. The king of guinea pigs. The page led me, crouching at first and then on my knees, before the king, Grace-na, and the show finished. Whatever. The king was the largest guinea pig I had ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knight in his retina. The show looked positively dainty next to him. We are told, intoned the king, that you have promised your assistance to the house of Cavi. This is agreeable to us, but what form shall your assistance take? I offer to retrieve the lady's eye by force. I plotted to steal the eye with cunning. I had nothing to offer but my advice. I had guns, I had a boat, I planned to row a raiding party to the northern side of the island where the cabbies could flank the rats' settlement. A question of timing. I gave clear orders, my navigation was impeccable, but it seemed the rats manning the front lines were able to signal the settlement about our attack and keep the cabbies busy for long enough. The chief engineer succeeded in rallying his troops into the defensive maneuvers and made it impossible for us to set foot on their beach. I watched helplessly as the cabbies that managed to make it to the settlement fell singly and in groups to ruthless efficiency of the rats. The chief engineer in turn watched me and my crew while he instructed his fellows in setting cabby heads on the pikes and parading them along the shore. Page, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. I'll just do it again. Fine, I'll do this. Ships in the night, I spent a few hours scouting the Rat's shoreline, determining the best point of approach. There, a cove thick with chicken wood, too small and cramped for the guards to fear the mooring of a boat. My crew rowed me towards the very knife's edge, a shadow cast by the blazing eye, and I carefully swam the rest. From shore it was easy enough matter to pick my way towards the settlement, and once I was within 20 feet of the eye, I sprinted. The rats shouted in alarm and scurried towards me, but my legs easily outpaced them. I smothered the eye in my wet clothing and bound with it towards the boat, waiting in the shallows while the rats around me fired wildly into the sudden dimness, wailing their loss to the sea. The cabbies rewarded me suitably on my return. Oh, I have far too much fuel now. The rats were defeated, Cavia was triumphant. All that remained were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we faced it along the night. Then I invited one of the cabbies to join us. They were reputed to be excellent swimmers, adorable enough to boost morale. And if time should become lean, I thought maybe a guinea pig stew would buy the crew a day or two before they started eating each other. Welcome aboard. The Sheriff, of course, couldn't abandon her duties, but she made certain my request was carried out in the village square. The page squeaked excitedly and sought permission from her to join my party. "We record your doings for the glory of Cavi," he declared, "and I'd like to see more of the world." I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. I spoke up on behalf of the rats. The survivors were being treated poorly, but the rift did not seem entirely insurmountable. A generous victory. I appealed to the House of Cabby's grace and good breeding, and praised King Grace Na's magnanimity. Perhaps the rats knew not what they did in stealing the eye. Perhaps they were only stumbling about in the dark for a light, as the cabbies themselves, while lost at sea. The Shana and the king exchanged a look. The Shana murmured something in the king's ear, and he purred decisively. To err is marine, to forgive Cavine. He looked towards the chief engineer. "If you all see it all right to Our Lady's eye and help us place it back in its pool of holy pilgrimage, and if you agree to terms of trade," hissed the chief engineer. King Grace Na chattered his teeth, but the Shench Na stepped forward perhaps and raised her voice. "Perhaps further negotiation is possible." As we left, I saw the page timidly approaching an albino rat to inquire about fishing nets. The dark YZ beckoned. "We have eaten our fill and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage and see what wonders and terrors still awaited us." Okay, that's too much fuel I'm tossing over. I mean, Yeah, let's go with that. Then, there, you finished your diary entry and the final morsel of delicious rat flesh. The cabbies line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new kingdom. You now have port report, Pigmoat Island. That's all for now. Your hunger quality has gone. A new nation has been founded. Help Calvia resolve a dilemma. Purchase a scintillant. Steal the lady's eye. A high-risk challenge. Okay. So, pages 2. Well, he is a page, so... Really? Just the random mushroom I picked up in London is better than the random end of quest guinea pig? Guinea page, I mean. Scholarly creature from a warlike nation of aristocratic guinea pigs whose progenitors stole a steamer to escape the locked hutches of a London essayist. Apparently. Okay. There. I'm saving the game and ending the recording, so and swapping over to the Binding of Isaac. So time for the shill shit. So like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, follow my Twitter, follow my Twitch, and night all.